I think I must have lost at least 15 grand.
I'd never heard about squares. I never heard about money muling. Like, if you ever said that to me, I'd be like, bruh, what is this?
He was definitely manipulating me and brainwashing me a little bit. I was so naive at the time.
These fraud boys know that you're young. They know that you don't understand your finance. That's why they're coming for you. I knew absolutely nothing. I'd never heard of fraud boys, deets in, drops, money muling, none of that. I was studying a course that I was so passionate about and in a uni that I had worked so hard to get into. This was my first time really being away from home and on my own. I was literally like a deer in headlights.
I was 17 at the time. I had a job in a little boutique. The pay was so rubbish. It was like £4 something, and I was in sixth form. As a student, when you hear big money, you're like, ding, 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 I want some. I just thought more than £100 was really big.
My friend introduced me to squares. He probably at the time was like 14 or 15. He had just joined the Performing Arts College that I study at in South East London. And he just came up to me and we just started becoming friends.
I was newly single and I was on Snapchat and I noticed this guy was always holding wads of cash and he was always driving different cars. It was so weird how like every day it was like a Bentley or a Range Rover.
There's one picture that's standing out in my memory. It's a picture where he was all in white. It was always Louis or Gucci, never anything less. And then he was standing with a white car, a Mercedes, and I was like, wow, he's living the life.
He started posting a lot on Instagram. Lots of high bank account balances. 5 grand, 20 grand, all this money. And then he would have Snapchats of wads of cash and like a nice BMW or a Mercedes. So I popped up to him and I was like, where are you getting all this money from? And he said, it's Squares. And I said, what is Squares? And he essentially said, well, I can show you.
He never showed his face. It was always covered by emojis or the money. I never really thought much into it, like maybe he didn't like his face or he was self-conscious. So I was like, okay, you do you. I wasn't bothered.
He had a nice Canada Goose, you know, jumper, he had his nice Burberry scarf. And I was like, yeah, I want a piece of that.
He messaged me to say hey, and I was kind of happy about that because I had my eye on him. So I was like, yeah, let's go out, let's do it. Like, I'm down.
So after I liked a few pictures, I messaged him and I was like, so how do you make money quick? Question mark, question mark. And then he was like, oh, it's pre-funded payments. He did say, oh, it's legit, nothing's gonna go wrong, there's no risk at all. He made me feel at ease. So he was like, oh, we're just gonna get your card and then put a few quid in and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah.
Pop, he always said the word pop, I can pop that money in your bank account, I can pop that, I can get that done for you. My guys, my friends, will put money into your bank account. And I went, okay, yeah, I'll do it, what's the next step? And he said, just wait.
That night, he had asked me out and getting ready, I planned my outfit to the T. He walked me to the gates and that's when I saw like his car. It was a white BMW. And then he started driving and I was like, oh, wow, he's a man in charge, damn. So I was just really happy to be there and happy to be with a guy that looks like he had his shit together.
Best case scenario, I would have got at least 1K. And then I could save, help the family out. I did want to treat everyone, so I did want to get my brother some stuff. He wanted a new pair of Huaraches, so I was like, if I get this, I want to buy you this. I want to get my sisters like a completely new wardrobe. I wanted to pimp out the whole family.
The first thing that I really, really wanted to do was go skiing. The Montclair two-piece puffer coat with the dungarees. I wanted the custom ski boots, the custom skis. I just wanted to be lush. I wanted to I mean, I know it wasn't enough money, but like a Rolls Royce would have been good at the time.
After our night out, and he had literally spent the entire night like buying me drinks and taking care of me and making sure I was okay, we were in the car and we were about to leave, and I asked him to actually tell me what he did for a living, and he was like, "Oh, do you actually want to know the truth?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Can you handle it?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, so I do bank fraud." And I kept quiet, and then he was like, "So how do you expect me to afford all of this then?" A smart person would have jumped out the car and taken an Uber home, but I didn't want to be judgmental.
So the way Squares works, or money muling, is essentially someone will say, "Can I have your debit card for around 1 to 2 weeks? And in that time, I need you to give me your PIN, I need you to give me all your login details, and I don't want you to touch it, I don't want you to use that card, I just want you to wait, and I will get in contact with you again." And essentially, the catch is, by doing that, you will then get some money left behind on your account. And then, yeah, you go on your way, you've got that cash to spend, you can buy nice things, and that's the end of the story.
For a few days, you're right, all that kind of thing. You know how they use their slang. He was like, you're right, this is what we're gonna do, so my boy's gonna go pick up your card. I was like, excuse me, what? Because why am I gonna give my address out to someone? But obviously the gain was greater than the risk. So I was like, you know what, it's all right. I'm not gonna die well, at least I hope I'm not gonna die.
We were really just getting to know each other. At this point, we'd probably only seen each other about 2 times now. He rang me really early in the morning, and he was hysterical. He was like, "Yo, I'm in the highway, like, my car broke down, you gotta send me money, please, man. You're my girl, like, you're the only person that I can depend on." At first, I was like, "I don't really know you like that, we just met, like, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "Nah, what are you talking about, man? I trust you, you're my girl. Who else am I supposed to call? Like, it's your responsibility." And then I started feeling bad. I think from the first day, he knew that I was generous and willing to give, most especially him, whatever he asked for. Like, if my friends want something, I'm willing to go the extra mile for them. And he knew that, and he took advantage of that.
I remember getting the call saying, "Yep, they're outside, you can go out now." And then I just saw in the distance the Mercedes with the engine on, the lights on. It's like a movie. You're going into this really flashy car. You've got these 2 men, and they're just like worth so much, and they just look like they're worth so much, and they've got all this money, and it's all a dream. And I was there just putting on a front, just being like, okay, I'm calm, I'm not scared, I'm in a good situation.
When he came to pick up my card, it was pretty late because my parents did night shift, no one was in. So I was too scared to go outside, and I went to the bathroom. I put my card in an envelope and I just dropped it down, and he caught it and said thank you and then ran off. I felt like a bit of a ghetto Rapunzel, Instead of Rapunzel, let down your hair, it was more like Victoria, let down your square.
You're right. This is my square. You're not gonna do nothing nasty still, though. You're gonna look after me like they're like, "It's gonna be fine, mate. We're gonna pop it off, mate. You're gonna have bags of money. Look at all this money. Look at this money I pulled in."
There's no need to worry. I've done this before. Here's some reassurance. So he sent me some previous transactions that have gone through. So I never questioned it because I just thought everything was legit. It looked legit.
He was sat right next to me at the back of the car, and 2 of his friends were sat in front. The one on the driver's seat then pulled out, oh my God, he pulled out a stack of bank cards, and he pulled out a stack of IDs to match the bank cards. And then he started pulling out the IDs and looking at me. And that's when I kind of figured, wait, shit, what? They wanted me to go around and impersonate these people to retrieve cash.
I was always a good girl, so when I did this, I was like, bruh, this is a different type of Vicky, I felt dangerous, I felt bad. I felt like a G. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to live comfortably for the rest of my sixth form life. That was my thinking.
The cards would have come from students. Literally, students are the ones that give them the cards. And it's such a large system. So it's always a friend of a friend goes to retrieve a card. And here's the thing, like once you give your card away, you have no idea who's using that card. You have no idea what that card is being used for. So once you give your card away, just forget it. That account is done. Just say bye.
The next day, I decided to go shopping and I go to Savers because your girl's been smelling a bit. She needs some deodorant. So I go in and I get ready to pay. Once I'm tapping my card, it says declined. I do that about 3 times. And I'm like, hey, what is going on? I was so scared.
I'm waiting for about 3 weeks and I just get this and it's a buzz and it's a notification that my account has sort of just received a load of money.
When I opened my banking app, it said I had 4K in my account.
I just see a 3 and 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and I just see £30,000 in my bank account.
I was sniggering to myself, but I was so nervous. So imagine you see a girl in the middle of the shop just like, oh my God, yay.
Can I swear?
You can swear.
I felt like a fucking badass. Yeah, I felt like I was the shit, man. I was gonna get my Burberry in 3 weeks.
And I was like, rah, people actually have this type of money. I finally made it. I wanted to pimp the family out.
After a while of not seeing each other, he just showed up at my doorstep one day. The first thing he said was, my money's coming into your account. You need to come and take it out. He claimed that it was entirely his money. I still couldn't open my online banking, according to him, so I couldn't see what was going on with my account. But I just trusted that it was his money that he was taking.
After my shopping spree that was unsuccessful, I go home and I'm just chilling with my mum and we're just having normal girl chat and stuff. So the phone rings and interrupts our lovely conversation. And guess who it is? It's the bank. So the bank's calling.
Da, 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 da. And we just did those typical screening questions on the phone, like asking for my details, making sure this is my card.
I said, is everything okay? Like, I don't know what's going on. And the bank's like, yeah, but would you like to come in for a chat? Boom. So my mum's looking at me. After the phone's been put down, she's like, Victoria, why are they calling you?
He said, yeah, it's too much money and your card's been blocked. You can't access your account. You'll have to come into our branch to speak to us about it. And that's when I was really like, shit.
It wasn't until I'd gotten back to the library and my landlord had sent me an email asking why had I requested for an installment of my rent back. And so I needed to pay my rent again. And that was when I realized, like, this was my money that they had taken. And for him to just completely take everything and have me start from zero was just insane to me. Like, how could someone do that? And when I spoke to the police, they were looking at me like I was crazy.
I go to my room and then I message the guy and I'm telling him, the bank has just called me. The bank has just called me. Like, they know. I'm here speaking high-pitched, nervous and breathless. And he's just like, it's fine, just lie. Just lie about everything. But that was such a stupid thing to do.
I finished the phone call and obviously I'm advised to go to the branch.
Because when we get to the bank, the woman takes us into an interview room. So it's just me, my dad, and the woman. I felt like everything was in slow motion. Sort of every step was drawn out. I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
When someone's done this, they may not realise the consequences when they've actually done it, but when they come into the bank to explain their situation, I think the reality really hits home.
I'm freaking out at this moment. I don't know what to say. I haven't even got, like, my debit card. I haven't even got, like, my ID or anything. At the time, now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably very suspicious me just rocking up.
She says that my card is located in Middlesbrough. How would I get to Middlesbrough, she asked. I said, I don't know.
My heart is pounding. I'm just thinking, am I going to come out of this bank alive? Will the police end up coming? Will they be calling anyone? I just didn't know what to expect.
I felt like I was going to die, even though, you know, like, at a teen, you're always melodramatic. That's how I felt. But in that moment, it was like life and death for me.
And I literally made up a lie in the moment that it came from a family aunt living in Indonesia who has lots of money and works in international relations, and she sent it to me for my university fees.
The money mule will give their version of events. Actually, the bank has access to a lot of information, both from their own database, but also working with the other banks where the money's been sent from. So actually, we can unpick that story.
She just looks at me and she says, no, it can't be true.
Really, it's obvious, because you've got someone who's got £100 in their account for the last 6 months, and then £25,000 comes in. It's not rocket science in terms of identifying it.
The woman then puts the check on the table and she slides it detective style. The card was used to deposit this check. The money actually came out from a charity's account, and the charity was for cancer. In that moment, I was like, wow, these people are ruthless. Slowly, she chips away, and I finally tell the truth. And I tell her that, yes, I gave my card to someone who put money in there, and my dad's face just dropped. He looked at me in such disbelief that I didn't even look like his daughter.
He took everything from me. He had pretty much taken as much as he could have taken. And that was when I found out as well that he was grooming other girls. He was trying to justify it by saying that he wasn't sleeping with these girls, that he was just taking them out because he knew that they had large sums of money in their accounts. And I just felt so disgusted. At the same time, I had no money of my own. I had no food. And so I had to keep relying on him to give me money.
It's a few days later, and I get a letter through the door. So I run upstairs, I make sure no one sees, because I'm really freaking out. I don't want to get in trouble with the parents about this. And I open the letter and it says, I'm notifying you that your bank account is now closed and we can't tell you why. And that's when it really sunk in that I'd done something wrong.
We are closing tens of thousands of accounts a year as a banking industry of people that have actually committed this crime. You won't be able to get a mobile phone contract. You won't be able to get credit for a car. You won't be able to get a mortgage further down the line.
The woman then told me I need to go to the police station, need to report myself. And I felt like that was going to be the end for me. I felt like I was going to go to prison, criminal record, my future was legit down the drain. That's what I was thinking. I just fit the stereotype of being a black person in Britain, how all we do is end up in prison, all we do is scam and do crime and stuff like that. So I just felt very defeated and very fed up.
He came to mine, he just showed up, and he said that his accounts had been frozen or were being investigated, and he started telling me that someone must have reported him to the police, that something's going on, that if he finds the person that reported him to the police, that he's gonna kill them, that he's gonna do something to them. And then he started asking if it was me. He put his hand on my chest, and my heart was beating so fast that I was so terrified. And he asked me, so why is your heart beating so fast then? I said, I don't know, it's because you're scaring me, innit? And then he literally just started explaining, like, yo, I love money so much. Like, I'm willing to do anything for money. Like, I don't care who's trying to come in between me. Like, I do not care who you are. And that's really when I knew, like, It's money before you.
He had constantly told me, it's blessed, it's calm, it's fine, it's all in order, I'm patterning it. But now I'm left without a bank account, and it's not fine, it's not calm, it hasn't been patterned, it's the complete opposite, and I'm fucked.
It's so easy to ask me, why did you stay? I had no option but to stay. I felt so helpless, trapped, unheard. I just felt incredibly insignificant. It just seemed like everything that I'd worked hard for had been taken away from me just because I chose to involve myself with this person. That was my first suicide attempt. And my last, first and last. Yeah. That was my rock bottom.
Coming from a black family, as the eldest, you hold the respect, the integrity of the family on your shoulders. You're expected to be the role model child where everything that you do, your parents use you as a reference. And it's always good. But now, everything I do, my parents will use me as a reference, but it's going to be negative in a sense of don't end up like your sister. Don't do what your sister did. For this one minor black spot, my whole reputation was tainted. Something I spent years and years building, not knowing I was building something so good, but then just destroying it in a matter of, 3-4 days. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
I think I did message him when the bank account had closed, was ignored. Yeah, I think after that I was just sort of dropped dead. Like I was just left to fend for myself.
It's mad because everything about them is literally a lie. Everything is just fraud. Relationship, fraud. Family, fraud. Money, fraud. Car, fraud. What they're wearing, fraud. Nothing is real about these guys. It's just, I can't even stress how fake this lifestyle is.
Just don't do it. Don't be so naive. When I was 16, I thought this was all a game. I thought it was so fun. I thought the money, it wasn't real and it was all going to be fine. It doesn't really matter, but it is a scam. People are getting hurt. You don't know where that money's coming from. It could be stolen for someone who's worked really hard for it.
You're scamming yourself and you're scamming someone else because that money is going to come from someone else's account. I still see this thing going on now on Snapchat. Influencers promote them. People are like, oh, bring your squares, do this. And I feel like if it's everywhere for people to see, it's in plain sight. Why has something not been done? Or why has a counter approach not been taken by the social media accounts, by the social industry in a sense? You monitor our every move, our everything, but you won't take this off the internet and sort of protect young people, which I think is bizarre.
Obviously, I was in first year, so I was very naive and I trusted people a lot, but your bank details should be your bank details. If someone DMs you and they're holding wads of cash in a fancy car, honestly, to me, that's a massive red flag, if I'm being honest, because why are you holding wads of cash? Why is it not in a bank account? To me, that is not even a red flag, black flag, yellow flag, everything flag. That, just cancel, block, no.
So they tell you it's risk-free. They paint it out to be risk-free, but in actual fact, it's not. It's more trappy than the trap house.